يا ولو عليهم 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 هلا هلا وينك هلا هلا يا ولو روح له هلا يا لطيف هلا 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 لك عيني 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 الراعي الاول هو صالح وينك اعملوا معروف بس بالساحه شوي للدقيقه اعملوا معروف صبايا يا علمني يا وسوسه اعملوا معروف يلا هلا يا لطيف اعملوا معروف مطلوب من بي العريس توسيع الساحه اعملوا معروف يا صبايا ويا هلا 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 ام عبد الله يا ربيعه ام عبد الله يا ربيعه ام العروس منطيعه
ام عبد الله ربيعه ام العروس منطيعه يلا
ام عبد الله يا ربيعه ام العروس منطيعه
ام عبد الله ربيعه ام العروس منطيعه يلا
فيها الفرحه الواسعه بيفرح فكري ومجالي
فيها الفرحه الواسعه
يفرح فكري ومجالي
ارضك ارضك ارضك
هلا
وينك
يا مرحب فتحت يا هولو
رحنا
هلا هلا عيني هلا
وينك
هلا يا ويلي ويلي يا لطيف الله هلا عليهم 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 هلا
هلا
هلا دقيقة يا مرحب هلا هدعت
عيني يا ابو علي
Hello, 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 hello. Good to be with you all on this beautiful Thursday evening for another episode of News in the Dark. We are not going to stop. The grind don't stop, so we don't stop. We will not be stopping. We'll be live streaming every single day unless something really bad happens and we don't have the capacity to do it. But we will be streaming every single day. Now, you may be wondering, What happened today? Why are we streaming at 11 o'clock and not 10 o'clock like we usually do? What's up with that? What's up with that? Well, you see, we had a bit of an incident here at the homeland, at the homestead. Actually, you know what? Before we continue, we need the bangers. We need the bangers. We need the bangers, and we need them urgently. We cannot be doing the stream without some music in the background. We need it. And I think tonight, because it's such a chill stream, because I actually have no news thing to talk about tonight. Genuinely, I have some things that are coming off of the top of my mind, but when I stream, I've realized I can do whatever I want. I can speak how I want. I can talk as I want. Of course, I am beholden to certain things that reality, of course, has created. You know, I still do have my own life to live, and there are consequences for the words that I say. So in my head, of course, I can't say all I want to say. But what I can do is, of course, not be beholden to certain authority figures like the PCCSA and ICASA. Now, if you are not from the Republic of South Africa, you may be a bit confused by that. What do I mean, the BCCSA and the ICASA? The BCCSA and ICASA are basically the regulatory bodies that oversee traditional communication in the Republic of South Africa. So you cannot, for instance, say the word "cuck" on radio, because you may get into trouble with the BCCSA. You can't go into that kind of rhetoric. But when you're on your own platform, you can do what you want. Now, somebody commented and they said, "Daanyaal, don't you look like a titty?" I mean, it's cold, brothers. It's cold. It was so cold earlier, I could see my own breath. It is not a good time to be alive in the mother city. I'm lying. It is a good time to be alive in the mother city. It's always a good time. Anyway, Arabian. Let's see what we're gonna try to do. We need chilled Arabian lo-fi music. We need some chilled music. Let's see. What is this? Let's see how this is. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't think you can hear it though. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. So we're gonna put the music a little bit up actually, because you see, tonight it's gonna be a really chilled evening. We're gonna watch YouTube. We're gonna have fun, and I'm gonna first explain though what occurred today. So if you're wondering why I'm streaming so late, if you're wondering, hey, doesn't Daanyaal usually stream at 10 o'clock? Yeah, I kind of do. I usually stream at 10 o'clock, but today is a special day because today my family decided to make some food. Now, what you have to understand is that when my household makes food, traditionally, we are absolutely late. We are always late. We can't get the things in order. Now, to be frank with you, this may have been because of me. Because I decided to make the chips. And I kind of boiled the chips first. Now, I have no regrets. My brother, furious, because he has to wake up at like 6 in the morning to get to work. So he's furious that he had to eat so late. My father, I don't want to get in trouble with the family. But I mean, the results are good. Now, you may be wondering, what are the results? What are the results of this, of my endeavors, of all of my efforts, right? Was it worth it? Absolutely. People, you have to understand, when it comes to food, I don't play around. I do not play around when it comes to food. Yes, we had to wait approximately an hour and a half to get some fish and chips. Yes, it did take approximately an hour to cook the chips. Yes, my family is furious. Yes, my family has to wake up early in the morning and probably are going to be very miserable because of the lack of sleep. Yes, I do not care. I'm sorry. I'm a very picky person. But you may be wondering, hey, where are the fruits of my endeavors? How does it look, Daanyaal? What are we eating on the stream today? Right? What are we eating? Well, let me show you. Let me show you exactly what we are eating in the homestead today. What we are eating in the homestead, what we're eating in the home. I got my camera here. Hold on. Okay, wait. I have to like get myself set up here. What are we eating in the homestead? We're eating some fish and chips. And to just show you like how it looks, right? Let's see if I can get this right. Okay. Is it working here now? Guys, I'm sorry. I have to use like OBS, and OBS is like a nightmare to work with. OBS is like a nightmare to work with, brothers. So forgive me if this is gonna take a little bit of time. Also, just so you know, I'm not a streamer. Like I'm not accustomed to being a streamer. I stream because like I want to see if I can do it. You know what I mean? I want to see if I have the capacity to stream, if I have the ability to do it, and whether or not I can make something out of myself on this platform. And that's why I stream really. And also I find it really fun. Like I mean I can do whatever I want here. Like I can do it, I can literally do whatever I want. I can play games, I can do whatever I want on stream. And it's not like an issue. But anyway, what are the fruits of my endeavors? Well, here you go. Here you go. What we got over here? Right, we got some chips, basic fish and chips, basic, but it's all homemade. It's all homemade. Now the color of the fish is maybe a little bit off-putting to some people. To me, not so much. Not so much really. I love fish and chips, and the batter is made by my brother, and he's a great chef when it comes to fish. Like I only trust fishermen when it comes to fish. By the way, you have to only trust fishermen because fishermen are the only ones that, in my head, know what they're doing. Fishermen and older folk, because they have that in their heads. So what we got over here? We got chips that were boiled. I boiled them for like 50 minutes to 45 minutes. I kind of delayed the whole process over there. We got some fish and we got our tomato sauce. That's going to be supper this evening. We're eating extremely late, but at the end of the day, we have to get the grub in, right? We have to get that grub. So yeah, that is the menu for this evening. That's the menu for what is all going on. Now my family is pretty upset with me, obviously. I did kind of delay the entire evening, and I did kind of put them in a headspin for tomorrow, in a tailspin. So if you're thinking I'm the best person in the household right now, I'm kind of not. So yeah, I'm kind of not. But anyway, let's get that done now. We're done with the video. Okay, so tonight I thought we can maybe watch some things. We can maybe watch some YouTube, get accustomed to certain things, maybe watch some football. Particularly, I want to watch the reaction of the English to the game last night. Now, people, I must admit to you all, I am a big hater, a big hater of the English. Let me just put this out there. I'm sorry if you are English. I don't hate English people. Listen, I don't hate English people. I really, not a hater towards English people. I love Gordon Ramsay. I love Gordon Ramsay. Jeremy Clark, before he was on BBC, I loved him there too. You know what I mean? What's that other news that news guy? I think he's Thoreau, I think it is. I love him. I love them all. But at the same time, I am very cognizant of the reality that the English, when it comes to sports, are extremely arrogant. Like it's a really weird thing, because the English both have a prideful nature, because of course they are the originators of most sports, or we could originators a little bit interesting, because there are arguments that football was created by the Chinese, but they are the ones that popularize the sport as it is known today: cricket, rugby, football. Right? The thing though is they are terrible at all three. Not terrible, but they're not the best at all three. I would say they're like top 5 in all three of these, but they're not one. But they act like they won. The way they talk about their players, the way they talk about their system. I mean, yes, the English Premier League is the most refined football system that there is across any continent. There is a massive reason why the English have the most views when it comes to their league. It's because of the fact of how they built the system around it. But at the same time, we have to be cognizant of the reality that the English are also very arrogant. But they're also not that arrogant because they're also the biggest haters of their players. It's a weird conundrum. I'm not hating on it though. I'm a hater of the English. So when the English hate on themselves, I'm all there for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. The commentators from the United Kingdom, they have such a grandiose feeling about their country. They believe their country is like something, man. Right? They believe their country is like this like what the hell? Like, I don't get it. Like, they love their country, they love their players, but they don't love their players enough to support them thoroughly. Anyway, I got a message on Twitch. Wait, hold on. Where did the message go? Yo, what's up, Moritz Jordan? What's up, Moritz? How's it going, brother? You doing good? We're going to be talking a lot tonight. We're going to be watching some YouTube. We're going to be having some fun. It's going to be a chill session. I got my fish and chips loaded. Homemade, by the way. I'm doing great. How about you? I'm doing great, brother. I can't complain. I can't complain tonight. I can't complain. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure having you. You know, kind of interesting thing. The one thing that I wanted for out of this month, the one thing I wanted, literally, is to just have, like, a viewer. Like, literally just a viewer. That's all I literally wanted. Man, this streaming thing is so fun. I can do whatever I want. I can't play the music I want, because if I could play the music I want, we'd be having a ball of a time. But we, tonight, are still going to have a ball of a time. We're going to have some lo-fi music in the background, soothing it down. And we're going to watch a little bit of some news on football. Wait, he says he's going to be my first follower. Moritz, don't threaten me, bro. Don't threaten me with a good time, bro. Yo, bro, I will never forget you. Thanks, man. I got Moritz Jordan that followed me. First follower. My first follower. Moritz, thanks, man. I appreciate it a lot. By the way, just so we can set the tone for who I am, my name is Daanyaal Matthews. I'm coming from the Republic of South Africa. I have a history in broadcasting. I'm not going to go into the too specific details, because there are certain aspects of my personal life I can't really expose because of the reality of, like, a real life. But I have experience in broadcasting, particularly with radio. That's why I can speak like this, right? And also understand that when I was on the radio, like, when you're on the radio, you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's listening. You have to speak basically into the ether, and you have to speak as if though there is a listener there. So basically, you have to be schizophrenic in a way. You have to be schizophrenic in a way to make the show happen. Anyway, we're talking a lot. Let's get into the football. Let's go look at what's been going on. Now, to be honest with you people, I have not been watching the World Cup thoroughly. And the reason I haven't been watching the World Cup thoroughly is just because of the fact that I lost the love of football, man. I fell out of love with the game, and you might be wondering, why did I fall out of love with the game? What happened? I used to watch football day in, day out. People that know me know I watch football day in and day out. I'm a massive Manchester United fan. Glory, glory, Man United. Major Liverpool hater. Like, I swear to God, wallah. If you, like, people don't understand, I don't watch Liverpool play, because I believe that if I watch them, then something's going to go wrong. Now, that's a superstition, astaghfirullah. But at the same time, it's happened so many times that I just put fear into me to watch them. I cannot stand that team. And because Arne's slot was taken away, I got into a little bit of a depressive state. You know what I mean? I wanted their brother to be there longer. So, like, man. World Cup, I like Van Dijk. Oh, Moritz, you're kind of ruining it for me there, brother. You're ruining it for me. We had such a good relationship. Now, don't tell me you're a Liverpool fan. Don't tell me. Oh, he's Dutch. Oh my word. You know that because you're Dutch and I'm South African, and because of the colonial past, right? We get like Afrikaans, right? I don't know. Like, I know that in the Netherlands, there's like a distinct difference in the way words are pronounced, but there is a similarity. Like, ek dink is, I think, would work as well in the Netherlands. Ek is lief vir jou, stuff like that. I don't know. My Afrikaans is very bad. 68% from the government, but that's above average, so they can suck on that. Let's get into the videos. So, before we even begin, even though I'm a Man United fan, I'm a massive Ronaldo hater. The reason I don't like Cristiano Ronaldo is because of his sycophants. To be quite frank with you, it's not really him. It's just the fan base that surrounds him and their delusion. And the delusion of that fan base is the same delusional people in the Manchester United fan base. These people are crazy. They are loonies. They need to be locked up. Somebody told me just the other day, a family member of mine, told me, what if Ronaldo gets the golden boot? Astaghfirullah. I just uttered that and I feel like I have to make tawbah. Are you serious? Cristiano Ronaldo? The brother is ass cheeks. His ass cheeks. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a great player. No. He is one of the greatest players of all time. If you say that he's your GOAT, I will accept that. He can be your GOAT, but he ain't the GOAT. You cannot be the GOAT without getting the most valuable achievement in sports, and that is the World Cup. And some people will say, well, Daanyaal, it's a team game. You know, he's from Portugal. Look at the team. Brother, don't talk crap to me. Don't talk crap to me. I don't care. It's not like, listen, like you don't choose the country that you're born into. You don't choose the country that you play for. But at the same time, your country is not bad. Portugal is not a bad team. Now, some people say, well, in the 2010 World Cup, the 2006, I think it was in the 2006 World Cup. No, it wasn't in 2006. It was in the 2010 World Cup and 2014 World Cup. He didn't have the best players around him. How could he facilitate a victory of that magnitude? And I get that too. But what's the excuse these days? And people are like, oh, Daanyaal, he's still scoring. He's still scoring out there in Saudi Arabia. Habibi, please. Akhi, come on. It's Saudi Arabia. By the way, he's also there not only for football purposes. He is the ambassador for the 2030 World Cup. And the whole system is almost created for me. Do people forget that the guy had a protest action? Protest action over transfers that other clubs were getting. What league can you take seriously when they have a player like that? When they've constructed a system to benefit one player. Anyway, getting distracted. Another thing about me, I go on tangents, and also Moritz. I'm also someone that goes and does news analysis. I'm not always somebody that talks about fun stuff. Sometimes I talk about news because that's my interest. I have a degree in politics, so it's kind of something that I like to talk about. But I'm not like somebody like politics. For me is a very interesting thing. Politics is like a game. It's not really a game, but if you view it from that perspective, like imagine you're watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You would not get emotionally invested in Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I mean, you would not. You would just view it, and then you would like take insight from it, and then you would like conspiracy theory from that. You know? Like, that's how I see politics. Geopolitics is my favorite thing, so I'm not somebody that really focuses on South African news. I can speak about South African news later on in the year. We're going to have the local elections, and I'm going to have a coverage of that. But at the same time, I like geopolitics. I like the way geopolitics plays out. I like evaluating geopolitics, and maybe we'll evaluate some geopolitics later on in the stream. Because I'm having fun, Moritz is here, and because Moritz is here, I'm going to be here for a longer period of time. Because, you see, usually I stream only for like an hour, but that's only because I can only manage an hour. And by the way, when I say manage an hour, I can speak for an hour straight. I am that kind of guy. My energy levels can go really high and I can be up all night. But if Moritz is here and some people are talking to me, then well, I stay up longer because then I have a more fun time. I have a more fun, like it's more fun. I get to talk to somebody, they get to talk back to me, and we can have fun. I'm live on Facebook, I'm live on YouTube, and I'm live on Twitch. And you can check out my socials. I'll put my socials into this so that we can get some so that I'll put my socials down. I'm on TikTok, I'm on all the platforms, trying to grow myself. Oh, I'm muted. I'm so sorry. Okay, so they all win missed. Sorry, Moritz. Thanks for telling me, Moritz. Okay, so I was saying that Simon Jordan is a person that is a football commentator. He's well known. The issue for me with Simon Jordan is that Simon Jordan is bought. And not bought in the sense that he's being paid off. It's that his interests and his biases align with sports owners, because he himself was a sports owner. So when he does analysis, he doesn't really take into account the reality of football players and their dynamics and the internal and external pressures, nor does he really have a care like fans do on how football teams are supposed to operate, because he comes from an ownership perspective, right? So if you come from an ownership perspective, your idea of football is more in regards to the logistics of how clubs run, because you evaluate, for instance, the expenditure of a club, the income of a club, and all those kind of things. You don't really evaluate how a fan evaluates, because for a fan, football is not about money. For a fan, football is about the sport. It's something that goes beyond even like just it goes beyond society. It's almost something akin to religion, without some people think about. Just think about it. Like, exactly, Moritz. Like, just think about it. People value their football teams like they value a religion, in the sense that they don't put attachment to money. They don't care. They don't care how much money a club has to spend. They want the club to spend the money. They don't care if the club is broke. They want the club to spend the money. The only time the fans care about the club's finances is when it relates to how the owners are using the finances. In the case of Manchester United, it's regarding the Glazers. So commonly, in Manchester United circles, there's always a conversation that if something doesn't happen, like in the market, that is because of what's in now. That's because of the Glazers. When it comes to Tottenham, it was the same with Daniel Levy, that he's more of a business person. But you see, that's the kind of issue that comes in with sports, because sports is a money business. It's heavily money business, but at the same time, it's a business that is contingent upon a social construct that has become sports. It's weird to explain. It's very abstract, but yeah, that's just how I see it. Anyway, so let's have a look. What do we want to watch? Okay, so you see, as you can see here, they don't like the English win. They don't like the win. Now you see, this is the interesting thing, right? They don't like the win, right? They don't like the win. But let's see. I don't know how the Brazilians are actually going on about their draw. But anyway, let's listen to. I watched this game a little bit. Actually, I came in to watch the game, and then my family disgusted at me because I said that England's gonna lose, and then they ended up winning. So they blame me for that. I don't know. I didn't know I had that power, but yeah. Anyway. Thanks, Morris. I appreciate it.
His points. Yeah.
Oh, my ideology, my political ideology. How do I explain this now? How do I explain my political ideology? Because it's very. Okay. Let me. Okay. By the way, Moritz, just so you can see, let me just show you. Let me just show you. Can I? Wait, let me see the screen. Let me see the screen. So I got fish and chips. I'm gonna eat this now. It's a homemade fish and chips. The one thing the British ever exported to my country was fish and chips. I think that's the only thing that's of importance that they brought to my country. But yeah. Oh, and they brought me here. No, you brought me here, Morris. It was your people. As you can tell, colonialism and its past, it's something I'm not happy with. I'm not like, it's not like something that is jokeable, but at the same time, I believe that if you don't joke, you'll cry, right? So it's better to laugh at things than to get into a space of like depression and stuff like that, you know? Like, yeah, the past is the past, but at the same time, we can work towards the future. Like, you know, there's no Dutch person really that is out there like saying, oh my God, it was so great that we colonized South Africa. Right? It's not really a thing. But anyway, that's a different kind of conversation. Let's have a listen to Simon Jordan. I'm going to put the music a little bit down. I'll pause the music actually. I'm going to eat for a bit. I'll pause it at certain moments when I think they're talking crap. But yeah.
We'll get to that. 1 a.m., remember, kickoff in the early hours of Monday morning live on Talk Sport. So, Simon and Brad, this is for both of you. When you look at it and where both of those nations are, the USA and England, who goes further in this tournament? The USA or England?
Oh, that's a very loaded question, difficult to ask. Answer.
That's why I asked it.
Difficult.
Are they taking the piss? Yo. Yeah. Also, Maurice, your comment was disabled. But I don't need to put colonialism and they say we're nice like the Dutch, like the slaves and stuff is really. But I would say, okay, the reality of colonialism and its past is that by virtue of the act of going into another country and not taking hostage but taking ownership of its systems and how it operates, inherently there's an issue with that, right? But at the same time, I get where you're coming from in regards to the Dutch's approach towards colonialism. I'm not going to defend it because at the same time I can't defend it because of my ancestral history. Because, by the way, okay, we're getting a little bit off topic. We'll go back to the absolute stupidity that we just heard from the Talksport people. But like in South Africa, you get a term called colored. The Americans don't like it because colored is a different term. Because it's racism is a social construct. So one term here can be another term there, and another term there can be another term here, right? Like for instance, if I were to say the word coon in America, it would be like very, very offensive. Whereas if I were to say the word coon in South Africa, they would look at me like, what does that even mean? But colors in Cape Town have like two subsets. You get colors that are like the descendants of slave owners and the Khoi and the indigenous people, and it's really murky in terms of that, by the way. Like colored is a very amorphous term. It doesn't really have a concise definition. Because Tyler, for instance, like everybody knows Tyler. Water. I don't know the song. I'm South African, but I don't know the song. But I'm not a big Tyler fan, by the way. I'm a fan of hers because she's South African and she made it big internationally. So I support her regardless of what happens. But I don't know her music, and I'm not going to act like I know her music. But when it comes to the matter of colonialism and its past, I'm technically, in a way, like Cape Malay. And Cape Malay are descendants of the slaves or those that were transported to South Africa, because not all of them were slaves, but a large portion of them probably were. They came from Indonesia. Indonesia, of course, was at the time controlled by the Dutch. So, yeah. So it's really interesting to discuss it like that. The Dutch did give a little bit more freedoms. The Dutch and the British it was a different style of colonialism. The British were way more haughty. The Dutch were, I would say, less so. But at the end of the day, colonialism is something I can't support, and it's not something I'm going to justify even in the past. I can't even laugh in terms of the reality of where we are now. And I'm not going, and I don't have this position of shaming an individual for their past. I don't blame, like, you don't blame the son for the sins of the father. So I'm not going to do that. But anyway, this brother here said something absolutely stupid. He just asked, like, yo, we need to get into that again. This brother just asked, like, let's rewind what this guy just said.
All into the last 16 of the World Cup.
Listen to this.
USA last night, if you stayed up at home, you would see they beat Bosnia 2-0. Winning their first World Cup knockout game since 2002. They have now broken a 13-game winless run against European opposition. I mean, have you got your chest puffed out a bit this morning, Brad? You're proud of these lads?
Proud. I'm really happy that we're through. I didn't think last night's game was particularly good, and I think when you see what Bosnia did defensively against Christian Pulisic, there's a way to negate our attacking ability, but I thought we were the better team. I think the goal was very fortunate when it came. I disagree with the sending off from Balogun, and it's a shame that there's no way to rescind the red card or appeal against it. Very happy that they're through. Belgium can beat us. We can beat them. So
yeah,
we could find ourselves in the quarterfinals.
Right. And of course, for England, Simon, they got past DR Congo. You should have seen this fella. You were sweating somewhat, were you not? 2-1. They set up a last 16 clash in Mexico against the Mexicans in Mexico City, the Azteca high altitude and all of that. We'll get to that. 1 a.m., remember, kickoff in the early hours of Monday morning live on Talk Sport. So Simon and Brad, this is for both of you. When you look at it and where both of those nations are, the USA and England, who goes further in this tournament?
That is the dumbest question I've ever heard. That is the dumbest question I've ever heard. Are we being for real? You see, this is what I don't like about football and sports journalism and sports shows. They actually have to act like this is a real question. Like, look at this guy. He has to act like this is a serious question, and because he's American, he has to actually act like there's actual conversation here. Guys, the Americans call it soccer. Also, Africans also call it soccer, by the way, Moritz, just so you know. So Africans also kind of call it soccer, but I don't like to call it soccer. I like to call it football because that's the term. Soccer is something else, as I see it anyway. And also soccer just doesn't sound as good as football. Football sounds way better. How on God's green earth does anyone expect the United States to go further than England? Have people seen the quality between the squads? Yes, England has Pulisic. US has Pulisic. They have McKennie. They have that other guy from Fulham. I forgot his name now. Yeah, they have good quality players. I'm not saying that they're bad players. I'm not saying they're a bad team. No. But the question in and of itself almost equates the two countries in the competition. Now, obviously, from a sporting perspective, you have to always think that due to the competitive nature, you have to always think that there is an ability for the two to actually compete. I mean, that's the whole point of a competition, to compete. But are we really deluding ourselves into believing that this is that's like me saying, who will get further, South Africa or England? Like, what? Like, I love Bafana. I love my country. I love my country, but I don't think that my country is going to go I never thought my country was going to go all the way. I just didn't want them to embarrass me. That's literally, I went into the competition saying, just don't embarrass me. And they didn't. They went past the group stages, which in my head is not an embarrassment. Getting out in the round of 32 is, of course, a little bit of a swag thing. But at the same time, it's not something that is entirely embarrassing. Getting out in the group stages is far more embarrassing. And we've never exited the group stages. But yeah, that's the other thing. So, Moritz is saying, only got one decent player. They only got one decent player. They only have Pulisic and McKennie. It's only Pulisic and McKennie. You can't take players that play in the MLS seriously. You cannot. How can you take players from the MLS seriously? They work in a closed system. They don't work in open system. A closed and open system here basically refers to an open system is relegation. An open system is where teams relegate up and down. A closed system is where you have franchises like America. They all benefits to the two between the two. A closed system benefits financially because you kind of keep the money circling in between, and also it works better for competitions, because in a closed system you have a situation where usually the head of the system, in terms of the actual body that monitors the sport. Like, for instance, if you look at the NBA, right? The NBA is a closed system. So in the NBA conversations, you often hear them saying that the chairman of the NBA, I forgot his name now, or the guy who's in charge of it, he should be making decisions that benefit the league. That will never happen in Europe. You would never ever see, who even knows who's the guy who heads the PL? Nobody knows who that guy is. He's a mystery. He's like Houdini. If he appeared right now, I would be shocked. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between the two. Closed systems also have different benefits in the fact that because they are closed and because they have such tight control of the system, there's a better way of controlling the finances. So in MLS, for instance, they have like a rule, I think, in regards to foreign players, in terms of increasing the salary cap. You see, in closed systems also you have terms like salary cap, which also makes it the system way better for how it operates. Because if you think about it, in a closed system, they have the ability to introduce salary caps, which means that teams cannot compete with salaries. Whereas in an open system, like in Europe, teams compete with salaries. If one team has more money than the other team, naturally the team does better because they have the ability to purchase better players. But in a closed system, that isn't really an aspect, which means that the motivation for a player to move between franchises shifts. Now the motivation is either tied to media or their movement is tied to personal ambition or things like that. It's not necessarily because of more money. Whereas if you are in a closed system, in an open system, it's way easier to get players and for one club to just become like massive. Like Real Madrid, for instance, in Europe can get anyone. A lot of people say, "Oh no, Real Madrid." No, Real Madrid can get anyone. The statement that if Real Madrid comes knocking, people answer is fundamentally true because Real Madrid has that stature and they have that money because of their stature and because of what they did in the past. Same thing with Man United. Man United can get most players, not all players right now because we're doing better now, but because we're not like the team we were back in the Fergie days, we can't get any player we want, but we can get most players. And that's because of our history, that's because of our stature, that's because of our money, that's because of our brand. You see? So the differences between the two. See, I went on another rant there, by the way. I go on tangents a lot. It's just how I speak. So Moritz, I hope you like that. And also Moritz, and they even they are not world class. They're not world class. But he has to. But look. But this guy actually asked that question. Like this guy actually asked this question. Like, is he serious? Like, is he serious? Like, anyway, let's go into it.
The USA or England?
Oh, that's a very loaded question.
What do you mean loaded? What's loaded here, bro? Explain the load to me. What are you talking about? Anyway.
To ask, answers.
That's why I asked it.
Not difficult to ask. I mean, look at Belgium in terms of if the USA beats Belgium, that will be probably one of the major names on their resume and really start to establish in people's minds that they're becoming quite a forceful football nation, rather than just the sort of ridicule of it being a secondary sport in the States. Pochettino's very heavily invested. You saw him run over to the fans and whatever he was doing yesterday, and he's playing to the gallery and getting everybody at it. And the Americans are great at getting involved. When something's winning, the Americans will come on top. They are flat track bullies at times. But the fact is that England have a better team.
It's a bit harsh.
Well, you are.
I know I'm dual citizen, but come on.
You're a flat track bully.
Flat track bullies, yeah. Listen, it's difficult because I watched England yesterday, and on the list of many abject England performances over the years, that's right up there.
Well, what happened to, it's a given?
Well, it should have been, shouldn't it? But it wasn't. And it's nothing to do with how well Congo played. It's how appalling England were, how they started the game, how they allowed these teams. They were outfoxed for the first 10 minutes because they obviously expected the Congo to bank up and sit in, and they didn't. But the level of play and some of the players that are on that field, you have to question what England are doing. You have to question, because there's nothing about these performances. And I'm an eternal optimist, and I will continue to try to be so. But it is now an effort to be so, because you can look at it, you can be jingoistic, you can be patriotic, you can support the unsupportable if you want to. That was a very poor performance.
What was it? Was a bit of overconfidence going into it? Even borderline arrogance?
Well, look, if you go through the list of players, Spence isn't good enough. You look at Saka, although he came on, you look at Declan Rice, they look knackered from a season at Arsenal, and I don't know why that is. You look at Madueke, he's clueless. He's a speedboat without a brain. You look at some of the players on the field, they're not good enough at this moment in time. Now, there's no cohesiveness team. This is not a team. This is not a fluid team. The one thing they can all take away from, and I suspect they can probably make this point, is they don't give up.
There's a couple of things you said there. Also, Moritz, come on. Moritz, you're my first follower. So, brother, a lot of care for you, really. But Cape Verde beating Argentina. Listen, I don't gamble. Apologies. I think my vape. I don't gamble. I can vape on Twitch, right? And all that. Yeah, I can. Also, Moritz over here is from the Netherlands, so I don't think he's unaccustomed to smoking. By the way, when Erik ten Hag was in Man United, I literally had a joke running that he was smoking some sweet weed in the dressing room. No joke. That was the only explanation I could have for his behavior. Literally, always so serious. I can't, brother. Red light district, weed. It's what it is. Also, in South Africa, weed is called dacha. Dacha is like a Xhosa word. It's Xhosa origins. So, and that's what we call weed here. Yeah. Anyway, they must also be smoking something, or not really, Simon. Well, yeah, Simon's actually said something that was a little bit interesting to me. He said that he said the team is in quality. Now, let's actually look at it. England squad. Let's just look at the England squad, right? The full squad. Let's go through them all. Okay, fine. So let's go through this. These are trash. These are shit players. These are shit. Trafford over here is probably the best goalkeeper that is here. Dean Henderson is in my opinion good. He's good. Like he's a steady Eddie, as Graham Souness would say. But easy on the level of Trafford, I don't believe so. I think Trafford has better potential, but they will never choose Trafford. Primarily because of his age. He's 23. That's very young for a goalkeeper. Very, very young. Goalkeepers usually start to peak by over the age of 28. So Dean over here, he must be a little bit pissed off that he can't get a game. So Trafford's never going to start. And they're not going to have faith in Trafford because Trafford doesn't really... how do I explain this? Trafford isn't established. Trafford doesn't get a lot of game time. But when I've seen him for Man City usually in cup competitions, I haven't been disappointed with him, genuinely. And I'm not even... and as a United person, I'm not a Man City fan. Also, I'm putting back the music, because we're going to have a little bit of a different discussion now. Then we're going into defenders, right? What is he talking about? Like, what is he talking? Look at these defenders. Look at them. Like, look at them. You're telling me these defenders aren't quality, aren't world class? I mean, it gets into a conversation of what do you mean by world class, right? What does the term world class really mean? And for me, world class means you're a game changer. It means that when the game starts, you are a focus point for the opposition, because if you get the ball, then it's almost a 60 or above % guarantee that you're going to do something amazing. Lamine Yamal, world class. Vinicius Jr. when he's not playing for Brazil, world class. Now Vinicius is performing for Brazil right now. I think that's down to Ancelotti being there, but Vinicius for Real Madrid, world class. Or players like Saka, world class? Not to me. They're just a level below world class, just one level. It's like they miss 1%. And the percent that they miss is the ability to create change instantly. Saka is extremely consistent, and that's why I put him just below world class. Because Saka can perform generally the same. Generally, you'll get the exact same performance of Saka, game in and game out. Now Simon said there, he doesn't understand why Declan Rice and Saka are knackered. I mean, it's actually remarkable that they aren't. It's remarkable that they aren't just benched for most games, because you must remember that Saka and Declan Rice were starters for Arsenal, and they were starters in a team that was competing in all competitions, right? Especially the Champions League. They played more games. Their last game was so close to the World Cup that it's almost weird that Simon would say that. But anyway, hell no, Harry Kane is world class. No, Harry Kane is world class. Harry Kane is world class, no doubt. Harry Kane is world class because Harry Kane can do anything. That guy is almost a freak of nature with his ability. Almost a freak of nature. He doesn't have to look at the goals to score, the goalpost to score. He doesn't. And that's something you develop over years and years and years of activity, of playing at the top level. But I don't know, man. Like, that guy is, if he gets a ball at his feet, he can do a lot. Like, he can play make. When he was at Tottenham, he used to fall back so far, almost as if though he was a midfielder. That's the kind of 9 he can be. So, yeah. Harry Kane, definitely world class. You're right, Morris. I agree with that entirely. I would say he just makes world class though. The only issue with Harry Kane is that Harry Kane has never been, in my opinion, in a club that actually challenges or competes. Now that can be seen as a bit of a weird statement to make. And the reason it could be seen as a weird statement to make, because you can say, oh well, he plays for Bayern, but I mean Bayern plays in the Bundesliga. And now, yes, the Bundesliga is becoming competitive with Leverkusen. But at the same time, are we being for real? Like, are we being for real? It's a Bundesliga. It's a farmers league. Now people are like, oh no, you don't know, the German teams do well in the European competitions. Yes, great. The farmers do well at the state fair. That's wonderful for them. But has it changed the fact that they're farmers? No. It doesn't. Anyway, let's go through the defender list. Izzy Kwanzaa, not the best, but Kwanzaa, steady it is. John Stone, past his prime. I don't know, did he start the last game? Hold on, who started England versus Congo? More about the game, lineups. Worcester, Harry Kane, Bellingham, Rashford, Madueke, Anderson, Kwanzaa, Nico Riley, Spence. Oh, you gotta go? Moritz, I'm gonna miss you, man. Join me tomorrow. I'm gonna stream every day. Every day I'll stream. I don't know what the time is in the Netherlands. Wait a check. Let's see. I have to put in GMT, right? So SAST to. Okay, I'll see you again, Moritz. Hopefully I see you join for another stream. But thanks, my man, for being the first follower I have. Oh, we're actually in the same time zone. Oh, great. So it's 1-to-1. Because it's also 10 past in midnight. Here in South Africa, so I'm kind of over time, but I started work a little bit late. So Moritz, thanks for joining me. Wonderful having you. Sleep well, my man. I will be live every day at 10 o'clock. Today I was a little bit late, but that's because my family made food and I was a little bit delayed. I have a story about that, but yeah. See you, Moritz. I got love to have you. Moritz is my first follower. We'll never forget him. Never. I got one follower, guys. Yo, we're cooking with gas tonight. Can you believe that? One follower. Anyway, analysis. So, how do I get into this now? What was that? Where was my thoughts? My thoughts were, I actually lost my train of thought there. Moritz was left, so now I lost my train of thoughts. God damn it. Anyway, the English team, right? How they perform. So these players here are not bad, I would say. Dan Burn is not that bad. Nico Riley is not bad. Reece James, not that bad as well. Jet Spence, Spence is a bit iffy in my opinion. He's Muslim, I think, so I'm not gonna wait his Jet. Oh, he's Muslim. Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna be too hateful on him. But Jet Spence is a good player. He's good for Tottenham. He's not a bad player at all. His inclusion into the squad is a bit weird given Tottenham's performances, but I'm not gonna question Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel is really good in tournament competition, so I'm not going to have a discussion in regards to whether or not England has a good coach. I think they have a great coach. And I think that coach can get them through the competition, which is something I don't like to say. I'm not the biggest English person. Like genuinely, I swear to God, if England were to win the World Cup, I would. Oh my God, bro! If they win the World Cup, it's like Arsenal winning the league. It's just a nightmare, bro. You know the world's going wrong if that happens. I swear to you. I swear. Anyway. Chalobah, we're not gonna go into that. Nico Riley, I like Nico Riley. I think Nico Riley is a really good player. I think he's not a game changer, but I think he's developing into a player that could one day be considered a game changing defender. Reece James, quality. Unfortunately for the issue with Reece James, of course, is the matter of injuries, and as I see, they're injured. So I mean, it's not a surprise. Midfielders, Declan Rice injured. Really? Declan? Not surprising, given, of course, the season he's had. Quality player, though. Elliot Anderson, also quality, being so highly sought after. Jude Bellingham, nothing much to say there. He's Jude Bellingham. Jordan Henderson, I laughed, actually. I don't know why this guy keeps getting a job. And then my beautiful Prince Kobe Mino. My beautiful Prince. My sweet Prince Kobe Mino. Oh. Quality midfield. This is probably one of the best midfielders in the entire tournament. Just Kamainu, Elliott, and Rice could work. But you see, yeah. Anyway, forwards. Bukayo Saka, just below world class. World class. Marcus Rashford. I'm never gonna hate on Marcus Rashford. If I ever hate on Marcus Rashford, it's not me. It's a shape a shifter. Morgan Rogers, also a good player. Really, really good actually. Really good. Kind of a game changer at times, but not all the time. Anthony Gordon, not that we don't like Anthony Gordon. The reason we don't like Anthony Gordon is because of how he left Everton, but also we just think that he's someone that's very selfish, and we are not a big fan of that. Eberiche Eze, I think he's overrated. I think this guy's really overrated. I don't think he's the best. I think he is really good at. I think he's really average, like, or just above average. I don't think he's that guy. I think Olise was the biggest star when they were at Crystal Palace. He got his big move, which is great for him when he got the Premier League, but kind of overrated. I mean, yeah. Ollie Watkins, not a fan. I think he's overrated as well. Think the guy is not that great. Not Omedeweke. Think he's overrated as well. Don't think he's the best. Ivan Toney, fan. Big fan of Ivan Toney. We think he's quality. But weird, including coming from the Saudi league. But Tuchel did mention the reality that his coach is somebody that he rates, and he rates his opinion. So kind of makes sense why he's included there. Let's check something else now. Anyway, let's see. Okay, let's continue watching. Where is it now?
They continue to be abject for most
Well,
of the
that's
game.
kind of them, isn't it?
No, but
It's
that
a
was
World Cup final.
No, but that was the point they were making. Some
Yeah.
people can be defeated. They keep on, and Anthony Gordon was making the point Harry Kane was making. I mean, Harry Kane, with due respect, if his only job is to score goals, fantastic, and that's right. That's what he does, and you have to give him all the credit for that.
Yeah.
He wasn't great either.
Okay.
The team is poor at the moment.
We're going to get into it in more detail shortly. What about you, USA? Do you think they get by Belgium, whereas England might struggle with the altitude in Mexico?
Oh, I'll get on England and Mexico.
Yeah, we'll do that in a bit.
Yeah, U.S.-Belgium is an interesting one. I think if they play, and I think we spoke about this, if they play Doku and Luka Bacchio, we struggle. If any team that plays against us, if they negate our pace on the outside, so if you take Freeman's pace out and Dest's pace out, and you take Pulisic and Robinson's pace out, we have to play the possession football through the middle. That's not our thing. What could play into our hands? The Belgians think they're players, and they are. Some of them are good players, and they're going to try to pass out of the back. That plays to our advantage because we'll high press. And if we win the ball in the center areas of the pitch, in the middle third, then we're gonna counterattack and get some chances. I'm not confident that we win, but I'm also not doom and gloom that we're going to lose. It's just one of those games that could go either way. So yeah. I can't tell you if I think we're going to be in the quarterfinals or not. I can only tell you I hope we're going to be in the quarterfinals. Mexico, England. Mexico is a poor side. They're not a great side. I've played against them my whole life growing up. I've been down there. They have a huge advantage playing in the altitude, and it is an enormous advantage. What they do is they try to suffocate teams in the first 15 to 20 minutes of every game. Doesn't matter who they're playing. They could be playing the old Brazil teams. That's what they try to do. If you can stay...
What does suffocate mean?
So you can't breathe anymore. You can't get your second win. You know, right. You start a game, and if somebody's like really on top of you, you get your second win, you get into the game. When you're at altitude, it's really hard to get your second win back. And if you go down a goal, then you're a little bit anxious. You're a little bit...
you mean they press England very hard very early and make them work very
Everybody. Yeah. And then England has to work that extra bit harder. And then you go down a goal, and you think you have to work that extra bit harder again, and then the altitude takes over. If you get through the 15, 20 minutes, lucky enough to score a goal and go up 1-0, or just 0-0, you will see that Mexico is a very average side.
Okay, it's going to be raining there, I think.
That'll be great for England because they'll take the smog out of the equation.
The fact of the matter was, though, the Americans were reduced to 10 men.
It's a interesting analysis. I like that. I like how he explained it. It has a lot of logistical insight. What I dislike usually about football analysis is that football analysis is 9 times out of 10 based on previous experiences and previous realities, and it doesn't really account for what's happening right now and the patterns that we are seeing. I kind of, my mentality is Bayesian. Bayesian. What's it now? Bayesian. Wait. It's called Bayesian. Yay. Yeah, Bayesian theory. That's it. Yeah. So Bayes theorem is what I operate on, and that basically means that well, I don't actually know the theory throughout. I just know what abstractly it implies, and that of course is the fact that you take all the information and you apply it to the new reality. And what he did there was actually something quite similar to it, not entirely. He did say that his opinion was based off of his experience playing against Mexico. He also, however, did take into account the present reality, of course, and that is a matter or present circumstances, and that, from his perspective, is that they still practice the strategy of suffocating you in the first 15 minutes. So it's a really interesting analysis. I think that it makes a lot of sense. I'm not gonna debate him because he's way more experience and way more insight on how Mexico plays. From what I saw with South Africa, Mexico is relentless in terms of the abilities, and I think their home advantage is massive given the altitude. Like they say, there was a show called Super Strikers, and Super Strikers, they used to there was one team, I forgot now. Let me see now. Super. Iron Tank FC, yeah. Yeah, is this it? Yeah, the Alps, yeah. So Iron Tank FC, so that's actually kind of interesting. But anyway, so yeah, let's listen some more to what they're saying, and then yeah.
Brad Balogun sent off. Sent off just before the hour mark following VAR intervention. He landed awkwardly on one of the Bosnian defenders on the fella's ankle after being off balance, if you like. Now, there have been comparisons over here made with Messi's challenge on Monday of Algeria in the group phase match. But unlike Messi, well, what do you know? Balogun was sent off and he misses the Belgian game. What do you think? Under FIFA regulations, Brad, there's no appeal. There's no appeal. Well, should that change?
Well, first of all, the images that we're seeing, if you just stopped it where it's on his ankle, you would say that's a red card. If you look at the actual play and how it developed, he was in the air and he just was coming down. He wasn't looking down. He wasn't aggressively going at the player, and it was just unlucky. The player wasn't injured either. He carried on in playing, and I think those instances just happened. As far as the appeals process, that's a longer discussion. You have to go in with FIFA why you can't appeal one decision.
Yeah.
My belief is that if FIFA gave extra games 2 or 3 or on top of that, then you could appeal it. But on a one match direct red card, you can't appeal it. So
yeah.
That's going to be a big miss for us against Belgium.
Is it? I mean, what Jim is trying to suggest, I mean, we have to factor in the fact that subjectivity exists in all referees' mind. It wasn't the same referee that refereed Messi that refereed Balogun, so the comparison is probably not the greatest one, but it goes to the cause of, do you believe that the Messi effect would allow a referee to make a different decision? As a player, do certain players on the field, because of their reputation, because of their profile, because of their validity in the eyes of so many people, would Messi get a different reaction from a referee?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's just like when you used to play at Old Trafford against Sir Alex Ferguson. There were a lot of referees that did not want to make a call at the end of the game because of what would happen in the media, the wrath afterwards.
Yeah.
That's just the referees are human beings as well, and they have their own
sure
emotions.
Yeah. Well, the fact is that Balogun sits out the Belgian game, and USA will have to do without him. We have a lot to get through this morning. We're diving all over the place here as this World Cup really gets serious now. It's serious from the word go, but it certainly is now as we're in the knockout phase. Up next, we're going to delve deeper into England. It's becoming clearer this is a team miles off winning this World Cup.
Guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's 24 minutes past the hour of 12. and yeah, I'm tired. I'm knackered, and I have work later. So yeah, I kind of have to do that. I'll be live again. I'm live every single day, and it's never gonna change. I love this stuff, man. I love it. But yeah. See you later, guys. Have a good day. If I don't see you again, good evening, good afternoon, and good night.